Around 60 miles north of where we are today lies Silicon Valley, an area famed for its high technological advancements in the region of San Jose. Businesses such as Facebook, Google and Apple are situated there and have contributed to the world many times over. The racing world, however, has had a huge contribution from the circuit we're racing at today for round 8 of the Power Max Megane Trophy Series powered by NXTGEN here at Laguna, Seca. I'm Jack TM53 Synopsis, your commentator, and we're going to be treated to what will certainly be a mega race around such a classic circuit. I'm sure you'll all agree. Admittedly, the race took place last night and I'm unaware really of the full results of what has happened from what happened last night. We've got the replay that is ready to go, so we will resume, or rather start shortly, and I hope it pans out to be a fantastic race in any regard. You can see the drivers ready and lined up on the grid. Got D Whitehouse on the left hand side in the Hampshire car, he took pole position, followed by Zlatan in the Adrian Flux car. He's on the right in the blue car with Snav in the Power Products car on the second row. He's got Carter Boy 99 just behind him on the 4th place spot as well. So let's press play, let's see how this race turned out. We'll get the replay options up so everyone can have a look and a propaganda. So here we go, the countdown starting now. Here we go for the start. Make sure we're on board with the right driver as well. And the race is live here at Laguna Seca. D Whitehouse has got a relatively decent start and he's away well. Zlatan's just behind him in second. He's got Snav on the outside of him looking at turn 1 and 2. That's the Andretti hairpin. Looks like a relatively decent start so far. Zlatan's on the inside. He's having to defend from Snav. There's Carter Boy in 4th. Kionko Chan's in 5th. Good start for the Zerkotech driver. There's 3M Machine of Coleman. He's in 6th. It looks like we've got relatively well away. Haas has dropped right the way down to 13th though, so something's happened to him. Must have been turned around. But Carter Boy in 4th. D Whitehouse leads. This is the second time he's led a race in succession, but last time out at Autopolis didn't go brilliantly well. That's Carter Boy trying to go around the outside. Snav on the inside now as the approach turn 6. Quite difficult to get 2 cars through here, and sure enough Carter Boy drops behind him. Snav's clipped the curb though. Going to promote an opportunity for Carter Boy. We'll go on board with him. He's just behind Snav. I don't think he's going to have enough room to go through the corkscrew infamous corner at this circuit, well renowned. Carter Boy having to have a little look really, because Kionko Chan's on the inside of him now, going into Rainy Curve. Is there enough room? Kionko Chan slightly on the curb. Carter Boy's wide. He's all sideways. Just about holds it there, so he keeps 4th place. Kionko Chan got a penalty for his troubles, and he's got Coleman as well for going up the inside up to 5th, but Coleman's run too deep into the corner and that's back down to 6th. Kionko Chan got past him there. 18.05's in 9th. There's Danzo in 10th. Haas has now managed to get himself back up to 11th after his dramas. Greener Army's in 12th. Shadowstalker's a long way behind. Not sure what's happened to him, but that is the standings at the moment as we head on to lap 2. D Whitehouse still leads. He's got a little bit of a gap to Zlatan, who is driving well in the Adrian Flux car, has to be said. Snav putting on another good performance in the Power Products livery car there. He's in 3rd. Carter Boy there in 4th. Kionko Chan and Coleman still fighting like crazy going through turn 4. Coleman's run wide. Kionko Chan there, he's got to try and defend heavily from Bertis. Not enough to close the door completely. Kionko Chan on the inside. Cuts the corner again, does Kionko Chan. And he's run wide as a result. He's almost clipped and gone off the circuit. Bertis now trying to go around the outside of him. This would be very brave. Doesn't quite get through. And sure enough, that's 18.05. There's contact between the drivers, and 18.05 has sailed into the barrier. It's all gone wrong for 18.05. He was an innocent victim in all of that. Bertis waiting up for him. He did make the contact. Good sportsmanship from the two. 18.05's got to be careful with Greener Army. I think 18.05's going to get past Bertis. We'll wait and see. I know there's more action going up, and there's the move done through Rainy. So good sportsmanship for Bertis, but it was really unfortunate. Danzo, as a result, up to 7th now. Kionko Chan's going to go up the inside again. That's a huge dive bomb, and he's hit Richard P off the circuit. He has indeed. I think Kionko Chan's going to have to give that place back. Looks like he's slowing down on the straight. Yes, he lets Richard P back through again. good sportsmanship from the drivers. That's 2 incidents on the same lap where they've both let the other driver through. There's Haas now up to 7th. The Garage 4 Tile Company driver going to have to try and recalibrate and get himself moving again. Danzo's up to 6th as a result of all this. The Teng Tool driver, he's on 44 points in the championship. He's got 44 on the side of his door as well as KZ2 Haas goes wide. What a result this could be for him, as Kyonko-chan looks like he's gone into the gravel once again. There's 1805, the Suburtis. Shadowstalker up to 12th now. Greener Army, I think, had a little bit of a moment there. Cut back to the front to see how the drivers are getting on. Zlatan still applying the pressure to D Whitehouse, who's in the lead, still on lap 3. Carterboy has now got past Snav somewhere on circuit. We haven't seen it, but Carterboy up into 3rd in the fast car. There's Snav, he's in 4th. Coleman's in 5th. He's running well, Coleman. Got a good gap back to Danzo, who's got Haas for company, although I say that, Haas has gone through the gravel trap at Corkscrew Corner, and he's going to allow Richard P to try and go around the outside at Rainy Curve. That would be impressive, not quite. Kyonko-chan there in 9th. Bertis clipping the curb. That unsettled the car a little bit. He's got away with it. Shadowstalker's up to 11th, and 1805's had another mistake somewhere, and he's all the way down in 12th. So nightmare start for 1805. Meanwhile, up at the front, Zlatan still keeping on D Whitehouse, still making sure he's applying the pressure. D Whitehouse though driving well so far, just set fastest lap that last time out as well on a 24.2. He's going quicker still in the first sector. There's Snav, he's in 4th. This is a good showing from him. Coleman 5th. There's Danzo in 6th. Haas now has got Richard P all over the back of him, so Kyonko-chan's gone for a wander somewhere. That's Haas running a little bit wide. That's going to promote an opportunity for Richard P up the inside. Clips the curb. I think that's sapped the momentum, and it has. Haas getting away with running wide because of that, and the positions stay the same. Kyonko-chan still in 9th. Got Suburtis on his tail. Shadowstalker now up to 11th. Interesting to see how he gets on through this race. There's Bertis there, just running a touch wide he was. Haas in 7th, but he's run wide going through turn number 6, and he's into the wall. He's into the wall, and he's around. It's gone wrong for him. Kyonko-chan and Suburtis are going to get past him, which they have done. I think even Shadowstalker's got an opportunity to get past, or rather not. He's a bit further behind. But Haas, after getting up to 7th place, has dropped back down to 10th. So he has been the yo-yo in the pack so far. And that's Richard P who's gone off. You can see him there. He's on the infield section. Richard P facing the wrong way. He's got it wrong coming out of the Rainy Curve. It's going to take him an absolute age to get out of the gravel trap. And there he is now, down in 12th place. Absolute nightmare for him. Shadowstalker now inside the top 10. What a performance this is so far from the Geisen driver. Haas is now in 9th. Bertis is applying the pressure onto Kyonko-chan. He's trying to look for a move up the inside. Kyonko-chan slithering on the brakes, but just about holds on to 7th position. Meanwhile, Danzo is up in 6th. He must be loving his life at the moment. Zlatan, though, isn't loving life at the minute. He's in 4th. We haven't seen what's happened to him. He's got to try and go round the outside as Snav. That would be brave. Snav, bit of door banging between the two, but nothing doing really. Snav had the line, and Snav keeps hold of 3rd. Zlatan didn't see what happened to him. The Adrian Flux driver, though, it's just giving himself a lot more work to do. He was running comfortably in 2nd, and now he's got to try and put the pressure back onto Snav, who is driving brilliantly. I say that, and I thought Zlatan was going round then. He was lucky to get away with that. It's going to allow Coleman a chance to get onto the back of him. Carterboy now up in 2nd. Good driving from him. He's not really done much during this race, but he's up to 2nd. D Whitehouse, though, at the moment with a commanding lead. He's got a big gap back to Carterboy. I'd say it's around 5 or 6 seconds. Snav, though, in 3rd. Zlatan's 4th. Coleman 5th. Great showing from Danzo in 6th. Really good to see Danzo getting a potentially decent result so far. Suburtis is up to 7th. He's got past Kyonko-chan eventually. Haas is in 9th. There's Shadowstalker in 10th place. Still putting in a good fight. It's a really competitive drive from the Geisen machine currently. Let's see how he gets on for the rest of the race. There's 1805 in 11th. Richard P in 12th now. Going to have to try and recover. You see how much time he lost on lap 4. 1:39. 13 seconds off his best time, so he's got a lot of work to do. And there's Greener Army. He's just set his personal best. That's not the racing line, though, it has to be said. I don't think gravel traps are good racing lines. Has to say that much. So seems to have spaced out a little bit. I say that, Zlatan's now right on the back of the tail of Snav as we go into the 8th minute of the race. Still 12 to go on this one. Snav still defending well from Zlatan. And someone else has gone round. I think that's Coleman who's gone round at turn 4. Yeah, or rather turn 6. And he has gone off. So he's lost a lot of time. This is going to give Bertis a run and potentially to close the gap. Meanwhile, there's an absolute train of cars as Haas is in 8th place, trying to now recover once again with Kyonko-chan 9th. There's Shadowstalker in 10th. He's got 18.05 behind him. Richard P in 12th. It's a big gaggle of cars, this. Going to be interesting to see how the drivers Constantine are up on them, because it's certain to say that Haas is probably the quickest of this group, usually, if you take the championship standards into consideration. Kyonko-chan and Shadowstalker, by all means, very decent drivers, but you'd expect 18.05 and Richard P to be further ahead of them. So let's see how these gaps close over the coming stages. Meanwhile, a little bit further ahead, Zlatan is in 4th, with Snav in 3rd, and Carterboy has made a mistake somewhere on circuit. He was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of these battle and duo, but now you can quite clearly see that it's not 5 seconds anymore, it's more about a second. So Carterboy, you can see on that last lap, made a mistake. Wonder what happened to him. Oh, and that's Snav all over the gravel. He's into the wall. He's just about held it. Zlatan surely is going to get the move done. Yes, he does. Into the corkscrew. He's up to 3rd. Zlatan doing... Oh, he's got round. He just keeps it in a straight line. He just held it. That could have been even more disastrous. But he's just snatched 4th place back after having 3rd. So 2 mistakes in a row gives Carterboy a little bit of breathing room. But that is... Well, that was unbelievable. Snav has amazingly been able to keep hold of 3rd. Zlatan's there in 4th. Danzo in 5th. What a performance so far from him. Coleman's down in 6th. He's still got Bertis not far behind him. Haas has closed the gap to these two with half the race left to go. Kyonko-chan still in 9th, and he's being caught by Shadowstalker. This is a really good performance from him. Most competitive we've seen him. I know he's had 3 top 10s so far this season, but Shadowstalker really putting in a good effort and looks like he's closing the gap. He is indeed closing the gap on Kyonko-chan. There's 18.05, taking the inside part of the pit lane there. Not really going to gain him too much of an advantage. Maybe it's a different line he wants to take. Is the Steel Seal driver. There's Richard P as well, just having a little cut further forward. Bertis is still shadowing, it would be best to say, Danzo, who's in, or rather shadowing Coleman, who's in 6th. Danzo basically on his own at the moment. Zlatan, with his mistake, he's now down in 4th. There's Snav in 3rd, Carterboy in 2nd. Haven't seen much of D Whitehouse, but there he is on lap 8. Absolutely flying now currently. If you look at the gap on the track map there, you can see he's a huge margin ahead, probably about 10 seconds now. Carterboy picking up a penalty for something that he's done there. Cut the way back through the gap. Big slide from Bertis going through corkscrew. Great corner, that. One of the most iconic corners on the circuit. As Kyonko-chan, whoa, he goes flying through the gravel track. That is a corner cut for certain. It's going to allow Shadowstalker potentially a look around Rainy Curve. Don't think he's quite close enough to try and pull that move off, but he is starting to apply some pressure now, is Shadowstalker. But he's got to be careful. 18.05's just behind him, and he's going to have to try and attack and defend. Not a position he's been used to this season, Shadowstalker, so it'll be interesting to see how he develops and adapts to this newfangled position he's in at the moment. He's still looking on the back of Kyonko-chan. Richard P's closed up right to the back as well, and he tries to go around the outside. I say that, runs a little bit wide. I have to note as well that Snav is up to 2nd, so Zlatan is even 3rd. So what has happened to Carterboy? We haven't seen it on circuit, but he must have dropped down to 4th place. Nightmare for Carterboy. Meanwhile, Shadowstalker is still there, still hounding the back of Kyonko-chan. He's got a really good run, it has to be said. He's going to try and look to the inside of the corner. Is he? Yes, he's on the gravel almost. He's trying to go through, but he's not quite able to do it. Good clean racing from the two. Very aggressive from Kyonko-chan, it has to be said, but he's still kept the clean move. Shadowstalker still now looking to try and make another move at turn 6. 18.05 hovering about. Shadowstalker's gone wide into the corner, and that's going to give 18.05 10th place. Good opportunist driving from 18.05. The Steel Seal driver is now inside the top 10. Shadowstalker, though, still looking to try and get back inside the top 10 as it stands. Richard P seems to have lost a little bit of time to the group, so I'm not certain what's happened there, but hey-ho, that's the position he's in at the moment. Kyonko-chan still in 9th. Haas is in 8th. These three are sort of separated by about a second now. You can see Coleman just going on to lap 10. Danzo in 5th. Carter Boy, there he is, the fast driver in the fast car, has made a fast mistake and he's down to 4th. You see he's lost 8 and a bit seconds compared to his best lap time. Zlatan now on for a podium. As it stands, this could be a good result for him. Snav on for a best result of the season. He was unlucky not to win it, Fuji. Let's not forget a few rounds ago he was leading for most of the way and he just fell to 3rd on the last 2 laps. So, can he get a season best second? D Whitehouse though, still running away with it, still no problems for him currently. Snav there, Zlatan, there's Carter Boy. We'll switch back to the battle for 9th place, really, because that is the closest that we've got on circuit on the 14th minute. Kyonko-chan's 9th, 18.05 10th. That Shadow Stalker's run very, very wide going through turn number 5. I think Richard P is going to take that away from him, and he has done. Pretty straightforward for the Master Vault driver. And Shadow Stalker, a small error from him, but he's still there, he's still in the fight for the group, and Kyonko-chan's just got passed, or rather been passed by 18.05 as he clouts the curb going through the corkscrew. Not certain what happened. I wonder if he ran wide and he's got a half a second penalty for probably clouting that curb, which he shouldn't be doing really if he doesn't want to pick up a penalty in that case, but he has, and he's got half a second to try and clear. So 18.05's up to 9th as they just clear their penalty going through the final corner at turn 11. And Kyonko-chan actually was that slow, he's allowed Richard P to go through and past. So Kyonko-chan, while serving the penalty, a bit slow on the exit, and that is Richard P inside the top 10. So the 2 recovering drivers have got themselves into 9th and 10th respectively. Kyonko-chan still trying to hound his way back past though. Haas is in 8th. I say that, what has happened to Haas? It looked like a very odd rejoin that from the angle that we saw, and Haas I think was on the back of Bertus and has made a mistake. Or I think in fact that Haas was in past him. So not been the greatest of races for Haas today, it has to be said. Richard P now has got back past 18.05 and the scrap for 9th. These two have been virtually together for most of the race. And Richard P in 9th place as it stands. Shadow Stalker still putting the pressure on Kyonko-chan. In fact, he's got a really good run coming out of turn 6 on the Rahul straight, and he's passed him before the corkscrew, although it's a bit of contact, maybe, I'm not sure. Shadow Stalker was very deep into the corner. And Kyonko-chan went also wide too. I'm not certain what happened, but Shadow Stalker lets Kyonko-chan back through on that move. And that's a car round. That's 18.05. He's gone round. Unbelievable. Trying to get the camera to cut back. He's trying to turn around. Shadow Stalker's trying to go around the outside of Kyonko-chan going into the final corner. Not quite going to happen there. But 18.05, it's gone wrong for him again. And this time he's a huge, huge margin away from Shadow Stalker. And there's only 4 minutes left in this session, so I don't know if he's going to be able to battle back to these two who are still fighting furiously for the last place inside the top 10. Richard P now should have a clear shot at getting away and going into 9th. Haas is now trying to close the gap back to Bertus. There's Coleman in 6th. Danzo, what a performance from him. He's in 5th place currently, just set a personal best that last lap out. Zlatan currently in 4th. He's made a mistake on the last lap because Carter Boy's back past him, and he's made another one there. Not ideal for the Adrian Flux driver. And all this, Greener Army was spun around there just in the background at Rainy Curve. But Zlatan losing 3 points as it stands to Carter Boy. Carter Boy inching ever closer to that title, and he could secure it next week at Suzuka East if the positions stay as they, well, I say that he could get it next week, but he still needs to make sure he seals the deal. At the moment though, he's edging closer and closer to that points tally, and that's what he needs to do. Snav still in 2nd. This is a wonderful performance from Snav, on for his best result of the season, as is Danzo. Coleman, as well as that, is also on for his best result of the season in 6th. It could have been even better for him. Still got time, never know what will happen in front of everyone at the moment. Bertus though, defending heavily from KZ2 Haas. These two have been effectively on a bungee rope between the two in terms of the gap all the way through this race since it settled down after the earlier stages. Haas, though, on the back now, and that's someone who's run wide. Well, that was Greener Army actually going off wide. I thought that might have been Shadowstalker who'd gone off, but it's not. He's still on the back of Kyonko-chan. Where's 1805? He's just there currently. But we'll cut further forward. There's Latan, there's Carter. Don't think there's going to be enough time for these two to close up together. So the closest battle on circuit is between Bertus and KZ2 Haas, the driver who's in third position in the championship. Let's not forget is KZ2 Haas at the moment. Got to try and make another position up in these final few moments. D Whitehouse, though, currently storming away. Looks like the gap's decreased, though, if you look at... Yes, it has. So lap 12, D Whitehouse made a mistake. You can see in the timings on the right-hand side, 1:32. So a little mistake from the Hampshire driver. We didn't see it, and I'm sure D Whitehouse will be very pleased that we didn't see it. So he's got to make sure he gets to the end of this race. He's still leading. He's still been putting an amazing drive. It has to be said, his fastest lap is something to behold, really. Carter Boy's the only one who's been able to get within 2/10 of it, and there he is. He has closed the gap now to Snav, and this looks like it could be the final lap for these drivers. So what can Carter Boy do then on the final lap? He's going to have to try and close up to the corkscrew, which has been part of this circuit since it was opened in 1957. So can he make any impression on him on the final lap? We go on board with him as they approach the corkscrew. He breaks a little bit earlier. Snav wise to it. A little bit of a slide through the corner. Holds on to it, and Carter Boy made a little error, and that might just be that in terms of the battle for second place. I think it's going to be for certain. Let's see, the round now, the second to last corner. The time is ticking. That's the time on the 20th minute timer. Carter Boy have the look, but he's not quite close enough. And Snav will take second place. Great result. Carter Boy third. Zlatan is in fourth place. That's a decent result for him. Danzo, fantastic result for Danzo. After so long, gets the result he deserves. He's in fifth place. Coleman, again, best result of the season. He takes sixth. Haas has got past Sir Bertus on the final lap. We haven't seen it, but Haas takes seventh with Bertus just behind in eighth. Richard P, despite everything, is in ninth place after all the chaos that he went through earlier on in the race at Laguna Seca. He's in ninth. Kyonko-chan's got Shadowstalker, but I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. Kyonko's trying to get rid of that penalty before the line just holds on, and Kyonko-chan gets the 10th spot. Shadowstalker unfortunately doesn't get his fourth top 10 in the row. 1805 and Greener Army have seen the checkered flag, so we will ride with this man who has got a lap to himself, a nice victory lap. D Whitehouse has taken pole position, fastest lap. He's led every lap. He's going to take the race, win the Grand Kellum as he rounds the final corner. D Whitehouse is back in the big time. It's back into the victories for the first time since Brands Hatch. D Whitehouse takes the race win here at Laguna Seca. What a performance. Wow, what a race we had there. So D Whitehouse took his first win since Brands Hatch. A wonderful performance for him and a much needed victory for certain. Second place went to the former Snav. Brilliant drive from him, kept his nose clean, took a good result. Third place for Carter Boy, still not finished outside of the top three this season, and he closes in on that first title in the Megane series. Zlatan was fourth, solid for him. Fifth though for Danzo. He's going to be absolutely chuffed with that result. His best of the season, and he's had such bad luck throughout, has Danzo. That's a great drive. We will be back next week at 8 o'clock Thursday for round 9 at Suzuka East. I'm certain it's going to be a wonderful race, and we will see you very, very soon from NXTGEN. It's been the Megane Trophy. Have a pleasant time.